Whether you're watching, listening or reading this, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we're on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It is a staggering 40,075 kilometres. It's going to take somewhere in the region of 11 years to accomplish, so plenty of time to raise the money. I will commit to vlogging whilst running a minimum of 5 kilometres every day, and I'll even do it barefoot style. So for those regulars will know that I vlog about my passions, which are entrepreneurship and running, and most importantly how these topics link together to help people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise as a release mechanism. Now it's a nice enough morning, it's not too breezy, about 11 degrees, a little overcast, so nice running conditions. And it is Wednesday Wellbeing today, where we talk about all things mental health, well-being, mindset related. And today's topic is desire and ambition more important than talent? So as always, please support this challenge by subscribing and sharing the content, and let's get started. So here's the question: is desire and ambition more important than talent? Okay, so let's put some perspective around this first and foremost, and then I'll give you my thoughts on this process. Well, first and foremost, it all depends on how we're defining, success. I mean, we're assuming here that we're talking about success. It's quite a broad-ranging statement. Is ambition and desire more important than talent? Well, for what? To be successful, the kind of consideration that I'm going to talk about today is about, is desire and desire and ambition more important than talent? Well, I don't think there's probably an equal argument for both here, because I'm just thinking back through my experiences in life, and I know several people who are super successful, and I know super successful people that are talented, are extremely talented, and I know super successful people who've got there through grit, determination, ambition and desire. Okay, so the way I'm going to answer this question is based on the facts and figures that I have in my experience. I think there's a lot of evidence out there which kind of supports my summary that I'll come to very shortly. So what I would say is, although I know people in both camps, every single one of them has desire and ambition to succeed. Without that, or in some capacity, you're just not going to be successful, period. I mean, there's a perfect example of somebody who, I don't know if many of you are going to be football or soccer fans, but I'm a massive Manchester United supporter. And growing up through the years of United being the dominant force in football, they had a young player which I'd always kept my eye on, a guy called Morrison, and he, as Sir Alex Ferguson, obviously the world-renowned and famous sports coach, he's one of the most successful of all time. He said that this guy had more talent than any other player he's ever coached, and he's coached some of the best in the business. But this guy never made it, and I think he's coming to the back end of his career. I think he's playing a kind of League One or a couple of divisions down from the top level now, and he's never really made it at the top level at all. And we've always asked why that is, and he has a lot of things. This guy has a lot of things going on in his private life. I think that obviously has a bearing, but there's no question he had the talent to go to the very, very absolute top, especially how somebody who's so well versed in coaching talent says that he's the most talented he's ever had, and that's someone like Sir Alex Ferguson. You have to take note. But ultimately what it came down to was the lack of desire and ambition, or too many distractions that didn't allow him to grit his teeth and focus on wanting and desire to be successful, which ultimately was his downfall. And in the same regard, in business people that I know of, I know of people of all sorts of varying scales of ambition and desire. And like I said, there's some people I would put more kind of towards the higher talent, less ambition and desire. And I know a lot of obviously who've got the high ambition and desire and not as much talent. But what I would say is that, like I say, although I do know people who I'd classify as having natural talent and flair for what they do, but they're not the most ambitious and have the most desire to be, you know, go take it to the absolute very top, but they've still managed to get there. And that to me suggests that, you know, their journey has been far easier because of their natural talent. Okay, I'm not saying that they haven't had to work hard for it, but I'm telling you now that they haven't had to work as hard as someone with less talent than them in their field or industry. Now, on the flip side, I know far more people who I wouldn't say are naturally talented, but they just have this extreme mental resilience, drive, ambition, desire to be successful, and they'll sacrifice and do whatever it takes to kind of get to that next level or that next milestone or goal that they've set themselves. And I know far more people that have been successful in their respective industries and life with that mentality than an over-reliance on talent alone. So I know you probably think that's a little bit of a sit on the fence type of argument there. Basically what I'm saying is there are exceptions to the rule, but ultimately the people who have more ambition and desire are more likely to succeed, in my honest opinion, and the experience that I have with people I know in my network. That's not to say that you do get people that are just naturally talented and make it through talent predominantly alone, but there's always got to be an element of desire and ambition to help people get there. And I think what we're trying to say here, and what I'm trying to summarise, is that, you know, if you want it enough, it doesn't matter, you know. There's the other argument as well, just before I go into the summary, that the other argument is that play to your strengths, okay? Like, if you are, you know, it takes desire and ambition can if you've got a little bit of talent or a foundational level of skill in what industry or section of your business that you're working within, then that's a good head start, isn't it? If you have, you know, if you're at the opposite end of the scale and you have no talent or ability in that industry, then it's going to take a monumental amount of ambition and desire to overcome that. So what I would say is play to your strengths would be my first take on this. And if you can put yourself in something where you've got some level of skill or competency that's going to be useful, then desire and ambition is going to have something that can kind of be a springboard for your desire and ambition. If you're, I don't know, notoriously bad with numbers, for example, and you wanted to start an accountancy firm, then you're up against it from the start. And although that's not saying you won't make it, if you have the right desire and ambition, you will, because you'll do what it takes to overcome that. But it takes an awful lot more desire and ambition to overcome something like that than if you're kind of, you have an interest in maths and accountancy. You may not necessarily have a qualification, but you've got a natural interest in it and a base level understanding. Then that gives you a platform that your desire and ambition can then springboard from to kind of take you to your goals and ambitions. Okay, so I would always say try to have some kind of foundational platform to start within to give yourself the maximum chance. But where you are on the continuum, the more talent you have, the less ambition and drive you need or desire you need to reach that success level. It depends on how high the bar for success is, of course, but this is just my general feeling. And the less talent that you have, the more desire and ambition you're going to need to counteract the lack of natural talent. So so if I'm summarising, the smart move is to play to your strengths, to find out understand what you're naturally good at or what you're already good at, and play to your strengths. It gives you the best chance because you'll be more towards the talent end of the spectrum, which means you need less desire and ambition to succeed. But then be as ambitious as you possibly can to try and achieve it, because however you slice and dice it, you have to work hard. I mean, there's so many people out there today that will talk about passive income and making this and not having to do anything, and I'm a strong believer in this because my focus has always been about systemizing businesses and scaling them for success. However, what people don't realize is that there is no such thing as passive or an easy ride, because just because you've created something which is going to generate you a relatively passive source of income, they often forget the huge amounts of work and effort that went in at the front-loaded point in time to set all this stuff up to enable it to be more passive in the future. So whatever you do in life, you need to have ambition and a desire to succeed at it. And depending on how much you need, generally speaking, the people who have the highest degree of ambition and desire will be more successful than those on the lower end of the spectrum. If you do have natural talent, that can give you a platform to compete at that level, but in my mind, the most ambitious and the person with the most desire will always come out on top. That's my gut feel, and that's my understanding from my network. And I know a lot of people in business, I know a lot of successful people in business, and this is just my interpretation of who they are and how they've managed to get to the top. So I don't know, I am super ambitious, and I have a huge amount of desire, but not to be successful. But the difference, I suppose, with me, the bar that I've set myself that equates to success to me isn't taking over the world, okay? But I am up there with the most ambitious people, and I have a huge amounts of desire to reach my success target, but I haven't got my success target or milestone set to change the world. Now obviously you say, well, I'm obviously pretty extreme because of my philanthropy work with this vlog, but my level of success that I'm going for is a set amount of income. I'm looking to achieve somewhere in the region of 25,000 a month. I want to go on my 4 holidays a year with my family. I want to have time to spend with my family, and although people think that they're massively high targets, they are, but not to the extremities of what your Elon Musks or your Richard Bransons of this world want to do, where they literally want to change the world. And I talked about performance versus lifestyle entrepreneurs. I'm much more about lifestyle. Now, where I do want to make a bigger impact is in my philanthropy work, which is for the Runpreneur vlog, and I have massive ambitions to change as many lives as possible in that sector. So I've been focusing primarily on business here and entrepreneurship, but my philanthropy side of things, I feel that it's my true purpose, and I feel that if I can be a driver to make a considerable difference to children who need it the most, then that's my purpose, and that's there's no cap on how far I want to take that. That just highlights the type of person I am with my levels of ambition, that I've set myself a running challenge of 11 years to raise £1 million. So that'll give you a little bit of an understanding of where my level of ambition and desire sits, because it's not easy, trust me. I'm nearly a year in, and there's been days where it's been really, really tough. Hopefully this episode helped, and giving you some take on the understanding of talent and desire and ambition, and where they sit on the continuum. And if you've got more talent, you need less desire and ambition to succeed. If you've got less talent, you need more desire and ambition to succeed. But ultimately, the people who are the most ambitious and have the most desire will always outperform the ones with just the natural talent. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, if you've got questions, drop me a comment. I'll respond to every one. If it's a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. Do check the links in my bio to keep up to date with the challenge to raise £1 million for children's charities by run blogging on consecutive days, the distance of one lap around the world. All my content is there as well. It's sorted nice and neatly by topic, and you should be able to find it in watchable, listenable or readable formats. So it should be nice and easy to navigate around. And all I have to say is, as always, my content has always been linked to how it can help people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise or in my case, run vlogging as a release mechanism. And we all experience the daily pressures and weekly pressures in the form of stress. And it's having this mechanism in our lives that allows us to clear our head, process what's gone on, gain clarity, refocus and move on. If you don't have that mechanism in place, it's basically like a pressure building up in a pipe without a release valve. And if you don't release it, that pressure will then evolve into overwhelm, where you have so much going on in your head that it almost causes you to freeze, have a seizure, procrastinate. And at that stage, it then evolves even further into panic and anxiety. And when you reach that level, you're flirting with the edges of mental health related issues, which clearly we want to avoid. And in the analogy of the pipe, the pressure gets too big, the pipe will burst. In that instance, you will have a mental breakdown, which is something we clearly want to avoid. Now, I've been there in the past. I've lost businesses because of this, these exact reasons. I've lost business partners, and I've almost been bankrupt. And believe you me, it's an extremely dark place, and I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy to kind of go through the same experiences that I have done in the past. And there's no coincidence that in the past 11 and a half months now of doing this running blog, I've made more progress in all facets of my life than I have done in the previous 4 to 5 years where I didn't have that release mechanism in place. Okay, so there's enough social proof that stuff works. And my olive branch to you is that if you are someone struggling with these exact issues, drop me a message, okay? And I'll get on a call with you. There's no catch here. The Runpreneur vlog is not for profit, so there's no sale. There's never any sale. It's all value and it's for free. So I'll help you. I'll give you a step-by-step guide to get you back on the right path. And I know this stuff works because I've already helped hundreds of entrepreneurs over the past few years with this exact topic, and I'm super passionate about continuing this journey. As I always said, that if this vlog saves one person or just one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So that's pretty much it for me today. As always, check the links in the bios to access all my content and keep up to date with the challenge updates, how much money we've raised, how you can get involved with the challenge. And I'll leave you with, as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow.